Welcome to the Mound Visit podcast presented by Top 100 Sports. I'm Casey Honigbaum, your host, joined as always by the 15-year Major League veteran and former All-Star Jason Grilli. Today we got a super awesome episode for you guys. We're really excited for this. We're going to talk to Brad Penny, pitched in the Major Leagues. He was a two-time All-Star, has played for a number of different teams, including being a teammate of Grilli's with the Florida Marlins, which is super exciting. But we're going to talk to him about something not necessarily baseball related. I mean, it is baseball related, but if you're a fan of pickleball, you'll be a fan of this interview. That's all I'll say. We talk a little bit about some pop culture with Grilli and I as well, just for fun. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but we want to remind you before we get into the episode, please do us a favor, subscribe to our channel. If you like to watch the show on YouTube, you can do that. Just look up Mound Visit Podcast, subscribe to the channel right there. And also, you could rate and review the show wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the show there as well, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. You know what I'm talking about. And follow us on social media. All those are at Top 100 Sports Network, at Top 100 Sports Net on Twitter and Instagram. So feel free to give us a follow there. Let us know anything you'd like to hear us talk about. And without further ado, we'll get you into today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode number 31 of Mound Visit. The number 31 carries a special meaning here today, not only for our previous, few episodes that we've done where we've thrown a number with a player. This one's going to be extra special. I won't spoil it now, but Grilli will fill you in as we get here later in the show. But we got a lot of stuff coming at you. Huh?
One of my favorite number 31s, Dave Winfield.
Ooh.
Dave Winfield was a childhood hero of mine, posters on my wall. Great guy and great athlete, man. He was a great Yankee and big fan. So
he was one of those guys that went right from high school to the big leagues, right? Isn't he one of the – he didn't do any – or was it college to the big leagues? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, he lettered in 3 sports, got drafted. He could have picked any one.
Decent.
He's one of those guys. He was a Bo Jackson of sorts, but yeah. But he's not our guest, so that's not the spoiler.
That's right, and it's not Mike Piazza either when we're talking number 31, unfortunately, but still a great guest, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to ask you if you have seen the most, I don't know what the right word is, I guess the most electrifying piece of sports content that we've maybe seen in the past, I don't know how long, and it is the power couple that's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Have you seen the?
Oh, jeez. What? This is old news. This is everybody's reaction, right? Who cares, man?
You don't care?
Like, I don't care. I'm not a Swiftie, and you know what? If
you're
enough
country music guy, she's got some country music in the catalog, right?
Listen, here's the truth.
Okay.
If enough athletes pursue movie stars or, like I said, Derek Jeter. We've thrown out. Look at all these celebrity couples. I don't know how many of them work out, but I think that the statistics, if we're going to do stats and the war on that statistic, I say it's all for show. Put a notch in your belt. Kelce, congratulations. Enjoy the run. I hope it makes you win a championship or play better because. Listen, I don't know if it's too much of a distraction. Have you ever seen a baseball? And this will tie in a baseball movie. You ready?
Oh, okay.
This is a B-movie baseball movie. It's called The Player's Wife, and it was all about a slugger's wife. Sorry,
okay.
It's a B-movie back in the '80s or whatever. You wouldn't have never seen it because you weren't even a thought yet. But
not yet.
It just dates you. That's good. It's good though. I'm bringing you back. I'm giving you some knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, but to the point, the tie-in here is the premise of the movie is that this baseball player was his good luck charm was this country singer, and he was even sticking a Walkman in his back. People don't even know what a Walkman is.
I do know what a Walkman is, but
okay,
yeah.
But he was always trying. They were trying to. This celebrity couple basically was trying to keep their love, affair alive, and date, and they were missing each other because they were doing their own careers and apart for a while. So yeah, it was interesting to see. He was playing great when she was in the stands. It was his good luck charm, riding that high. So I hope for Taylor Swift she writes more great music for her sake, and I hope the Kansas City Chiefs and Kelsey do great, and I hope that the fans are all into it. I don't want that many people involved in my relationship, but hey, good luck to y'all. That's my take.
That's great. Great take right there. Let's talk about another superstar in our own sport here when we're talking about baseball. I want to ask you this because Juan Soto is arguably one of the top players in the sport, if not a top 5 player. When you look at statistics and what he's been able to do at the age of 24. I mean, he's only a year older than me, and he's already had 6 years of major league service time. It's unbelievable. But it's no mystery that the San Diego Padres have underperformed a little bit this year with him on their roster. And now some reports have come out that the San Diego Padres are going to look to trim their payroll in this offseason. And one of the names that was thrown about is Juan Soto, and it's been talked about that he would not be opposed to a trade, wouldn't be opposed to going back to the East Coast. So I wanted to ask you what your thoughts are on that, and if there's a team that you see making a move for a Juan Soto.
A great player. I know he's having a little dip, and I think every player will have a slump. I mean. Like I said, great players don't stay in them very long. So maybe it's just there's something going on where he just ready for a change again, and maybe a team like the Yankees or hey, anybody with a big purse has to come with it for a Juan Soto on their team. But again, we're already jumping the gun into off-season winter meetings stuff right here. Where's Juan Soto going? But we got an amazing playoff race going.
Good point.
And just like you like to talk about your Mets, my Blue Jays, they're playing real good ball right now. They're against the Yankees, and I think they're about 2 games up now. Is my right?
1.5. They're 1.5 up right now on that second spot. Yep.
Yeah, so I just talked to my pops today. I was like, Dad, we got to make our arrangements. Let's get back to that WestJet suite. We know somebody that owns, and let's get some plans and arrangements. Make sure our passports are up to date, so we can get up there, man.
That's right. I think this AL wildcard race is about as exciting. Yeah, look at that. You got the Blue Jays Cup. For those who want to watch on our YouTube channel, you could check that. Look at that cup. Yeah,
Blue Jays fan.
It's about as good as it gets. Yeah. Show that mascot again. Let me see that. Let's see.
This was my Halloween costume. Speaking of Halloween's coming up, I have pictures of me in this Halloween costume. I swear to God, I asked them if I could
you
borrow
gotta
it.
send those my way so I could put that up for those watching.
You can put it up.
Can see
grilled cheese. Yeah. Grilled cheese was a Blue Jay for Halloween when Halloween. I think it was 2017 or 28. Yeah, it was probably been 2017.
That's amazing. Oh my
so they let me borrow it. They actually had 2 of these, and they let me borrow one. So I was grateful. Across state line.
Now that you mentioned the wild card, it's a good segue into our next topic because I want to ask you. I know you probably got your Blue Jays there in the AL, but who rounds out that 3rd spot? Because right now we've got the defending World Series champion Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners, who are both tied for that 3rd wild card spot as it stands right now, I believe. So who do you see coming out on top of that? Do you think that I don't know if you could call the Mariners a young team, but they're a younger team. They've got young superstars on that team and their pitching staff, and obviously Julio Rodriguez is unbelievable. Or do you think that experience that the Astros have, they've been...
Who has a tougher schedule? Who has a tougher schedule?
That's a good question.
Look, I'm looking at the Astros right now. They got the Diamondbacks. We're pretty, they're no rollover team.
Yep.
And they're playing their last game against the Mariners tonight.
Mariners have got the Rangers coming up, and then they've got the Rangers for 4, and then they've got the Astros. Oh no, Rangers for 4. Yeah, that's their last series. So,
yeah, they got the Mariners tonight. They got day off, and then they got 3 against the Diamondbacks to finish out their season. So I don't know, man. It's anybody's guess. And it shouldn't matter really who you play. Is as much as it is. Hey, man, we got to go get after it, boys.
Yeah.
And again, my experience is like sometimes when you put that pressure, two times that was last series mattered.
Yeah.
We had to win 2 out of 3 when I was with the Blue Jays in 16 to get even in the wild card spot, and we did it. And then to win the AL or the the AL Central when I was with the Tigers in 2006.
Yeah.
We just had to beat Kansas City one game. One game, they swept us.
Oh.
So they were spoilers, and we wound up being the wild card playing the Yankees.
Did you notice a difference? Sorry to cut you off, but did you notice a difference between those two series where, you had to win 2 out of 3 to get that wild card, and then you had to win one? Obviously, one of those you fell short in. Did you notice a difference in the mindset of your team going into each of those series, or was it just kind of that's baseball?
No, it's just baseball. It was weird. I think what jinxed it maybe for Detroit was like, hey, pack your bags just in case. Pack your bag. We were like, pack your bags. I would have just been like, yo, if you can't pack your bag quick in the big leagues by now, like, go to the store, buy you a new pair of underwear.
Right.
Who cares? At that point, who cares? Don't even think of the pink elephant. That's what happened. They put the pink elephant in there.
But speaking about the wild card, and to kind of wrap this segment up, I want to ask, you just spoke about some of your experience, but what allows you as a team to be successful, do you think? In your experience, what allows a team to be successful in a situation where you have to win a game to make it into the play or whatever? You have to win this game to get this spot, or you got to win this game to even get into the dance. What does that look like? What's the mentality of the team as you go into a game or a series like that?
It's kill or be killed, man. It's lay it all out there. I'd rather go at it hard and lose, right?
Yeah.
Than go in like, oh, I'm scared. It's hard. It's easy to say. It's hard to do.
Sure.
Sure. Some guys rise to that occasion, want the ball, want to be in the batter's box in the given moment. Shoot, it's incredible.
Yeah.
To have that opportunity, but then to want that opportunity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Seeing the ball bigger. I know guys. Your senses get bigger. It's just like, why do the NBA All-Star game? It's so just for show. But dude, when you turn it on and you watch these boys play defense, and they can during the playoffs, something's on the line that they want, and that's that championship. So I think the regular season, let's not minimize 162 games. We're coming to a close, and those are all practice for this year's baseball tournament that comes every year.
Yeah.
Right. You got the top 12 teams coming in.
Yep.
And you got to win 11 games.
Yeah.
And you got a hood ornament for your ring.
Damn right. Yeah. Well. So you talk about 162 games, and it's, I don't think unless you've actually played in that, unless you've experienced that season like you have, 15 times, how do you maintain the intensity and focus coming down the stretch with 162? Like, once you're getting to this point where you've got a week left, you got 4 or 5 games left, how do you kind of strap it together for 3 more and just be like, all right, let's lock in for these last 3, and then how do you do that as a player and as a team, I guess?
It's just the same way you did it all year long, but it's you either can, in your body, if something's plaguing you, you gotta trick your mind. I guess I'll use an example too. David Freese, great teammate. Look at what he did. What was it, 20? Was it 20? When he won the MVP in the playoffs? For the Cardinals.
What was
2014?
that?
No, 2011.
11
right?
Was that? Yeah, that Cardinals Rangers. Yep.
Yeah, he was locked in, man. And I've played with Freeze, and he said, man, he hated the regular season, but dude, when playoffs came and he got that opportunity, he goes, dude, I love this. It was like a next level thing, right?
Sure.
It was almost like, and adrenaline junkies, every major league athlete is, when you're chasing that adrenaline high, and know what that feels like, the playoffs exude that. You know, the game's at stake. The whole world's watching. You got not just a ring on the line. You got big player shares, right? Some hardware if you're the MVP.
That's right.
You know, maybe that plays into your next contract. I mean, there's all different reasons what gets guys going, right? And this might be your last shot to have a chance to do it. So there's maybe your only chance. I mean, to get there, mine, for example, was I got there, I didn't win, but I'd rather get there and lose than never have gotten a chance to play at all. I say that all the time. It's just, you know, some of these guys are lucky. They don't even realize how lucky that they were there right in the beginning of their career. You know, I think somebody like Cal Ripken, I think he got there early in his career, but never got there the rest of it, you know?
Yeah.
Baltimore, he played there once as a rookie in his first few years and then didn't make it. So, you know, to me, it's like, that's why guys, I think now try to jump ship, jump teams, or sign long year term deals to be with a club that has a chance to win. That's the whole point of, yeah, you can make a ton of money. It's miserable when you lose. It's miserable. And like I said, it's interesting to see a club like the Pirates. They had a little resurgence here locally, up just downtown here, up the road from me, and you know, it was a big deal to say they weren't going to lose, you know, 90 games or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like on the flip side, it's like, but if you win 90, you're talking I might have a wild card shot.
Yeah, right.
You know, or a division title, depending on where you're at. So, you know, we're talking mindset again. It always boils down to that, right? What do you go into this thinking?
Yeah.
What are you going in? What's your reason? Do you care? Do you not care? Are you going to play?
What was your mindset going into this? Going into a series where it determined your season's success or not, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it was nerve wracking, man. Yeah. It was a little nerve wracking, especially the first time go around. No one wants to cost the team something, but you know, yeah, or embarrass yourself. But it happens. You know, it's like that one. Look at we'll go back to 1986. Sorry, bro. You know,
86 was good for the Mets.
So. I know, but I'm just talking about the Boston fans. Sorry.
Oh well, yeah, no.
You know,
yeah.
It one play can ruin or make or break or identify you. And Bill Buckner's, sadly, he had an unbelievable career. He had a pretty decent career.
Amazing career.
One play defined his legacy of what he did and accomplishments, which is unfair.
Yep.
But, you know, the Tigers in 06, we had a lot of errors. The pitchers made so many throwing errors. And PFP cost us. It was just, you know, we got tight. And everybody was just trying to. But we dominated all year long, and then you hit that wall. We might have been the better team, but the other team played better. Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it is. Be in the right place, at the right time.
Yep.
Crazy stuff happens. So that's why you watch.
Damn right.
It's the unknown, unpredictable stuff.
Yeah, this is the best time of year to be a baseball fan. Whether your team's in it or not, playoff baseball is it's the best atmosphere.
Episode 31, who better to have than Brad Penny, number 31, a former teammate on Mound Visit. Hey, bro, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again, man.
You too, man. Thanks for having me. Did you plan that out with the number?
No. It just some things in baseball lore. Baseball lore, it happens that way. So magical, honor you, brother.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, no, what have you been up to these days? Long time since we've been retired and played together. It's been a little run, and you've had a great career. Even a little stint in Japan. Got worldwide baseball under your belt. But, what an amazing career, man. This guy right here, I came up with a lot of flamethrowers in the Marlins system back in the day, and this is one of them right here. Had an awesome career. Congratulations, and tell us what you're doing in life after baseball, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Chasing kids. We started having kids at kind of towards the very, very end of my career, and we got a 9-year-old daughter, 7-year-old daughter, 5-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old daughter. So pretty busy doing that, and the pickleball thing. So I've been playing pickleball. I try to play every day. So get my 2 or 3 hours of sanity out on the pickleball court and head back home.
Or the kids are the kids beating up on you? Is that how you're getting to be a pro pickleball player?
Oh yeah,
working you down.
absolutely.
I think that's a great place to start. Let's talk about that. Sorry, Grilli. Let's talk about that PBX with the stars. This is I was reading up on it last night, and it's super cool. So speaking of pickleball, obviously as we are here today, my parents got into pickleball a couple years ago, about a year and a half ago now, and they actually painted a pickleball court in their driveway. So I've got plenty of experience in the pickleball sphere, and I mean, can you say fastest growing sport in the nation? I feel like it is at this point. But talk to us about how you got into that and how this PBX with the stars came to be.
So I was my pastor asked me to go to a church event, and it was at a Chicken and Pickle here in Kansas City. It's where they originated.
Oh yeah.
And I went out there, and Jason, you know me enough to know that when I let and no offense to older gentlemen, but a 75-year-old beat me at something, it's time to take it a little more serious. So I got out there and I got beat by some people I felt like I shouldn't get beat by, and that was it. I was like, okay, that can't happen again. That was embarrassing. I'm gonna make a change. We're gonna start practicing. I'm gonna find that guy again.
So was it the actual racket? Was it just you weren't wearing the right? We lose our shoe contracts after we're done playing. What was the thing that got you over that hump, man, in pickleball to beat this 75-year-old guy?
It was the practice. I didn't know how to play. I mean, I'd never played a paddle sport, and I never even picked up a ping pong paddle. And
really,
I went out
in the
there.
Clubhouse, you never played ping pong?
Nothing, and got out there and it's more of a strategy. I was trying to hit passing shots, trying to hit it hard, and it's more of just setting shots up and more game plan and strategy than of course than I knew at that time.
I think the interesting thing about pickleball that I've seen is if you're even a little bit athletic, which obviously playing a professional sport for as long as you did, you've got that athleticism. But if you're even a little bit athletic, it's kind of one of those things where and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you can get kind of average at pickleball quickly, but then it's the getting from average to, good to great that takes, a lot of practice.
I would agree with that. I've had the luxury of, because of what we did, Jason, playing baseball, I get to play with some pro pickleball players. And, I think that's the hard part to step up in your talent level is you've got to be able to play the guys that are a lot better than you. If you're playing the same people every day that are equal or less than your talent, it's going to be really hard to move up in your rating number just because you're not seeing the guys that will really beat you. So everybody always asks me my rating, and I'm like, honestly, it depends who I'm playing. And it does. I mean, if you some of those pros will make you just look terrible.
Well, what is?
Well, we got some big name. Speaking of retired athletes, I mean, I'm looking at the lineup here of guys that you get to play with and play against. Jason Kendall, Toby Hall. It seems like a lot of baseball players. Brian Roberts. I guess we really after playing a sport every day, we need some JD Drew.
Urban. Right? How about Urban Meyer?
Urban,
I love that.
Urban, he was fun. What's funny about him is he is a competitor. He did not.
I can imagine. Yeah.
He did not want to lose.
So size, age, gender doesn't matter. You play against women too, or
you do? You do play against women. Some of those names. I think Smoltz just joined on. Andrew Jones, Jared Allen, football player. So the list is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm mainly in charge of recruiting the baseball players because that's who I know, and you see that list is pretty big. I've called probably everybody I know within baseball except for you, Grilli. You going to be on that list?
I don't know, man. I just got 3 PRPs on my left side, dude. I don't know.
Well, then you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm good to go. Well, what did you have to change your nutrition? You working out again, or what?
It really is just it's a lot of like hit cardio every day. I mean, I'm playing at least 2 hours a day. When I went to the first PBX thing, I played for 6 hours.
Wow.
With an average heart rate of like 130, I think, when you're doing it. You wear all these watches and bands. They tell you that make you feel good about yourself. I'm not sure it's real true. But no, it is.
What?
That's another thing. I really started really playing. I'm like, man, this is just like a workout for me, and I don't have to go lift the weights, which gets me, sore all the time, and I'm tired of
Yeah,
weights, Jason.
I hear you, man. After you're done playing, isn't it hard? It's really
Oh,
hard because
it
you beat
is.
the hell out of your body. I tell people it's the slow beating. Like you play in the NFL, contact sport like that, getting a car wreck every day.
Mm,
But hey, man, no short of what we're doing, longevity. Even Deion Sanders says baseball is the hardest thing to play, and he's a
Yeah,
two-sport athlete. But he tells kids go play baseball if you can play baseball because you can play it longer, even though it's harder. But
yeah,
yeah, man, the torquing and the beat down. We take the slow beating as opposed to the NFL players that are getting in a car wreck every
that's
play.
right.
I want to ask you when you look at all the the former professional athletes that you've played pickleball with, what are is
Yeah.
there anyone that stands out to you in terms of like being able to pick it up super quickly and you're like, okay, well, I could see not only why this guy was so successful in his own sport, but now being able to carry this over so quickly. Was there anyone that you've played with, even yourself? You could toot your own horn if you want to, but is there anyone that you've played with and you're like, okay, this guy's gonna be pretty good, or this gal's gonna be pretty good,
There are a few people that are pretty good. Caleb Sturgis he was a kicker for Urban Meyer. He played in the NFL. He's really good.
Mm,
The one guy that stands out in my mind. I have the luxury of practicing every day, and I get to practice with pros a lot. So I've definitely got an advantage with my instructors and stuff like that. But so I wouldn't even put myself in the category. I'm thinking of like the guys that have come to these PBX camps and stuff. And the one that would stick out for me is Jeff Conine, just because he's never played
mm,
pickleball, but he was a racquetball. I guess he was a racquetball champion.
okay.
And he seems to have, they call it a flick, where you just flick the ball and roll it hard. And he seems to already have that like background from racquetball. So it's going to be an easier transition for him if he's willing to put in the time, which anybody who knows Jeff knows that's
Yeah.
probably a guarantee.
So
I
what
love
kind
that.
of tournaments you got coming up, and you get sponsors for these tournaments that you're playing in?
I'm sponsored by Selkirk Paddle Company, so I use Selkirk stuff. We're having an event in Arizona October 16th and 17th, and that's going to be the first pro-am type thing where you can pay to play with Luis Gonzalez, Jake Plummer.
Oh, nice.
There'll be a ton of guys there on the 16th, especially the Gagnes and guys like that. So and then November 8th, I think we have a PBX event in Dallas, and then I'm going to play in that. And then on the 11th, I'm playing in national tournament with a guy. I never even met the guy, just kind of through email. Sometimes people look for partners when their partner can't play, and since I was going to be there, I'm just going to jump in and play with him on the 11th.
So there's some
Nice.
money at stake here, huh?
Not at that, but there will be at the PBX events. There's going to be a purse. So if you win a tournament, the tricky thing with that is how are we going to? Because there are ratings. I mean, it wouldn't be fair to stick me and Caleb against a bunch of guys who have just started. So
Mm,
we're trying to bring in some coaches, some professional guys who play in the tournaments all the time, and kind of like a golf club pro. We're going to kind of have some. We've already got Ryan Sherry. Colin Schick's gonna be helping us out, I think, and then Tyson McGuffin's coach runs all his camps. I don't know if he's his coach, but he works together with Tyson McGuffin a lot, and we're gonna try to get them involved in some sort.
So it's almost
nice.
like you're still doing some NIL deals here, name,
Oh
image, and
yeah,
likeness, something that the union had. I mean, now here you go. See, that's
Tacticam.
right, baby. There you go. Yeah, because I'm doing it now too. Being a part of our union, we stress those meetings and what that was all about. I'm passing the baton. I wrote a book, and University of Pittsburgh's picking it up. But you're
Sweet.
continuing that name, image, and likeness thing on too. And like I said, that shoe deal is. I always felt that hurts the one the most. I know those paychecks were nice, but the shoe
That's
deal for
right.
some reason was one that you really miss.
That's right. And I got to tell you, in
Gotta go.
pickleball, shoes don't last 6 months.
I
Really?
bet.
They don't last 4 months. If you're playing every day, yeah, those soles go quick. And I do not have a
Oof.
shoe deal.
Oh shoot! Well,
Okay.
let's get you out there,
Oh,
man.
talk to
Hopefully.
Adidas
Get you
for
out
me.
there. I'm gonna find you. Maybe you need some pickleball agents. If I can't play and I'm breaking my
There
ankles,
you go.
maybe you need to hire me as your agent, dude. I'll get you some deals.
That'll
I
be
like the
perfect.
business side of things. I
Perfect.
carried my briefcase behind the mound when I was pitching. I knew we're going to be out of that uniform longer than we're in it. Look what you're doing. Look what I'm doing.
That's
We're
right.
just
Yep.
it's fun to see life after baseball and where it takes you. But what would you say too? Because this Top 100 Sports is who this show is through for the Mound Visit podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What advice through your career experiences pass down to some young kids that want to be aspiring to play at the collegiate or the pro level? What would you say, Penny?
I work with Team USA a lot in the 18U, the national team, and so I see the best of the best. And really, honestly, and I know it sounds cliche, but are you willing to work harder than the other guys? I mean, Jason, how long did you grind to get someone to give you that opportunity? And when you did, you thrived.
Yep.
I think it speaks to how hard you worked. I mean, I really do. All these guys have the same talent. If you're going to be a pitcher, can you throw strikes? Can you get ahead? And do you have pitchability? And then, you get to a point to where there's 15 of those guys. Which one's going to be the best is the one that absolutely embraces it and loves the grind.
Yeah.
You're right. I just saw a thing on Instagram with Tom Brady. He said, he wasn't the best, right? Everybody knows his flight, to greatness, where he would used to get like 2 reps. And he goes, I treated those 2 reps that I did get as if they were the time that I had. It was Super Bowl time with enthusiasm, and I got those 2 reps. Those 2 reps got him 4 reps, 4 reps got him 10, and that's how he worked his way up. He mentally had to be in there because there's a lot of talent at that first round level.
Yeah.
I mean, I played with you in that Arizona Fall League, man, and that was like, holy cow, that was that team was stacked, and the whole league was good.
Yeah.
I remember facing Milton Bradley, going like, "Oh my God, I got to face these type of guys every day."
Yeah.
There was dudes, and that's the level of challenge. You think you're good until you're humbled, at which this game does.
That's right.
And you're even saying it happens in pickleball too. So.
Oh yeah, even more so.
I was gonna say you brought up Tom Brady. We don't have to. I mean, he's back in a different pickleball league, so we're even naming the competitors here. But I wanted to ask, when you look at, this league and what you've been doing. I know we were just talking baseball, but I want to ask about. It's interesting you brought up the USA team because I've been keeping up with a lot of the younger kids, just seeing who's going to be on the radar next in terms of the MLB draft and stuff like that. And, is there anyone that you've seen recently, in the time that you've, coached those 18U USA teams, is there anyone that's on your radar now that stands out that you think could really be a high impact player at the next level?
My first year when I got involved was on our team, it was the COVID year. So we didn't get to go play the World Cup, but we played Canada, and it was Tamar Johnson, Drew Jones, Andrew's kid, Jackson Holiday, who's of course on fire right now and just blowing through the minor leagues, and he is a stud. And it's every year. It's pretty interesting. You mentioned that because every year it's like, man, 4 of the top 5 picks were on this team. All especially out of the high school. I mean, it's all high school kids that I'm with, none of the collegiate level guys. But I mean, that year for the Elijah Green, Tamar, Drew Jones, and Jackson were 4 of the top 5 picks, and the Max Clarks, the Walker Jenkins, Jackson Ferris. I mean, there's just the list goes on and on and on, and it is really cool being able to. Got distracted over here.
There you go. That's the star of the show right there.
But the list just goes on and on and on, and yeah, thanks, buddy. I'm on. Can you go back in there and play?
All-star dad, see?
Okay.
There you go.
I'm getting all sorts of stuff, guys. See,
you're good.
That's awesome.
But it does. The list goes on, and it's incredible to see the talent we have. And it seems to be. It seems to. Sorry, I'll walk out. It seems pretty crazy that like the holidays and the Drew Jones. You see those kids that have been in the clubhouse for a while, and they get it. And sometimes I was just with Ethan Holiday this summer. And, and to see him and his demeanor, it's really this year. I don't think it was built for the 2-week tournament, and he has that mentality to play a 162 game season. He's just got that attitude to him. There's no ups, there's no downs, there's no highs, no lows.
Wow.
So it is interesting to see, and that always sticks out to me because there's a lot of ex teammates, ex guys I played against that their kids are coming through the system.
Do you notice that? I mean, you said that, but do you notice that with all these, these sons of former major league players? Is that kind of the separator? Do you think? Because I mean, it's
I
it's
think
crazy
for
to
some of
see.
those kids, for sure, these other kids have no
Yeah.
idea what it's about, and
Right.
and sometimes it benefits them to not know the 162 game season because
Sure.
it's we got to take a team, form them in a week, and then win, and sometimes that long season attitude doesn't really carry over to that, which I think with Ethan it's going to for sure. I think next year's his year. He'll be available to play on the 18U team and
Mm.
super kid and super player. So I love seeing that. And then Matt comes and watches, and I just love it. It's kind of satisfying to see, especially a guy like Matt. I mean, such an incredible human being who's another
I saw him
PBX
as a little
guy.
guy.
Oh yeah, he's
I was
awesome.
I was I was in Colorado when he was just running around as a little toddler infant. You know what I mean? He's running around the clubhouse, and look at him now. So
Yeah, and then he's
it
hitting
does,
balls out of the park on us.
right?
Yeah.
Osmosis, man. I think, like I said, and my dad was a big leaguer, and I didn't really remember a lot of stuff, but I do remember being in the clubhouse, and my kid saw that. Even if he was in there helping washing towels, I said, "If you're gonna be in here, you better just not sit here and eat big league spreads. You better, help out the players, and add something to this
That's right.
atmosphere if you're blessed to be in it." So, I think by osmosis, these kids of ours has, been in that atmosphere, man. It does help because it's either like, yeah, I love to do this, just like dad, right? It's
Right.
I want to be like my dad,
Sure.
unless he's a jerk off.
I mean, you think about it, Barry Bonds, who in my opinion, obviously best player ever, put a uniform on.
Yep.
Ken Griffey Jr. Those guys were around the clubhouse all the time.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting that
Yeah.
outlier, additional repetitions from an instruction, listening to conversations that a lot of people wouldn't otherwise be around.
And
So,
just watching,
yeah,
when kids watch, man, they can pick stuff up really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If you really just put the time in with your kid, and you don't have to send them pay for all these expensive lessons. And I try to tell parents that all the time. Just sit
yep,
down with them. If you don't know it, you can look up anything on YouTube. I mean, there is all sorts of instruction on YouTube, and kids watch, man, they
Yep.
learn.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what
That's
an advantage. We wish we had it. And
No kidding.
speaking of speaking of social media, we got to get you some sponsors, man. Give everybody your handle so we can follow you on pickleball and maybe get that following up so we can run this. See, I'm already being your agent,
That's
bro.
perfect,
We
Jay.
gotta get
I don't.
we gotta get
I got to get more active on social media, but mine's just at Brad Penny.
nice.
okay.
Beautiful. Well, yeah, everybody go check that out. We really appreciate Brad's time. I want to, before we close out our interview here, talk to us. Just give us one statement about PBX. Where do you hope to see PBX, in the next year, 2 years? What's the end goal that you have here?
I hope I hope that it raises a lot of money for charities. Like St. Jude is one that I love, and I just hope to see a regular schedule of tours. And I think you're going to see that next year. I think everything's getting set up to where, we'll go to Arizona, go to Florida, Texas. We're just kind of going to make stops and get corporations involved and have like dream weekends to where, it not only is it fun for the fan to hang out with a player, but it actually, I love sitting with someone when they're asking me questions. I get to ask them questions back and figure out who they are as a person and their life experiences. So I just think it's great for both ends. I really enjoy getting to know people, and when I was younger, I was more closed off. Jason, you probably know that. I was just quiet, went about business, trying to just stubborn and love
Yeah, you
to
had to be intense.
love to
People don't
be
realize how
yeah.
intense that lifestyle is to stay. It's hard to get there, but hard to stay there. So I've said that to AJ Burnett when he was here throwing out the first pitch this year to kick off the season for Kutch. And I said to him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "I know we played together a lot, but it was crazy because you're a starting pitcher, I'm in the bullpen, and it's kind of like even now get to know the guys that you played with. It sounds crazy to people and
It is
fans
true.
maybe, but it's like you hang out with a few guys, but it's hard because you're trying to keep that job. You're trying to stay in that
That's
uniform,
right.
and intense. So I remember how intense you were, but it worked for you. It worked for me, and that's why we played so damn long.
That's
And I
right.
hope you'll be a long-time pickleball player if you can turn that switch back on,
That's
brother.
right. And I will once I get on the court.
That's right. Can't
There
wait
we
to
go.
watch it. And just tape them ankles, man. I don't want to see you injured on some something
You got
stupid.
it. You got it.
Yeah,
You
Brad.
have to chase those kids around.
That's
Perfect.
right. If you ever need an ex Division III baseball player to round out the lower rungs of the athleticism,
on.
give me a call. I'll help you
Anytime
out.
you want to play, you look where we're at. Come on.
Hell yeah, I love it. All right, Brad, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Well, what I want to do to end off this episode here today. So I know you were just at your Braves alumni event and had a great time there, and you were talking about how phenomenal that stadium was, the environment and the way that you and your son were treated and all of that. And
Yeah, you got to go, man. It's Disneyland there.
I know, and that's what I've heard. But it's not all sunshine and roses. And the reason I say that, let me show you why. Now, this is your mascot. Now, watch this.
Oh, shit.
This is your mascot.
Yes. Wow, he stiff arms a kid. How about that?
How do you support an organization that does this to children? How?
Hey, listen, man.
I'm putting you on the spot here. We can't have this.
Wow.
We can't have it.
Wow, we went right through the tunnel there.
Isn't that crazy,
was awesome.
right? A little bit of the Matrix there.
Matrix, little hyperspace.
Yeah.
Like Chewbacca and Han Solo going to hyperspace. My favorite.
Yeah, but that's your mascot. I mean, I don't want to be the
Listen,
like I said.
If you don't want to get hit hard, then don't play football. If you don't want to get wet, why are you standing by the pool?
That's a good point.
If you can't tackle a mascot, you shouldn't play football. Maybe, I don't know.
I guess so. I mean,
poor kid, man.
I watched that video and I was crying laughing when I saw that.
That's incredible. Hey, listen, I love bringing a little humor into our show, man.
Isn't that great?
There's so many things on Instagram, non-sports related. I mean, seriously, if it hits you at the right time, usually it's at night when I'm sitting on the couch or I'm just about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I try to find something funny to end the day.
Hopefully people are. Hopefully people
Yeah.
are sitting on their couch watching this and they were able to get a little laugh out of that
Holy
clip.
cow. Stiff arm from the mascot.
And then he took on like 8 of them at once and he's just shoving them over. I was like,
well, the rest of the anthill was pissed, dude.
yeah.
They're picking up their teammate right there. He got absolutely train wrecked.
Oh my God. It was a pretty phenomenal clip. It was a phenomenal clip. I don't know how many home improvement fans we've got out there. I don't know how big of a home improvement fan yourself is, but I installed a 60-inch TV in my apartment, wall mounted, everything. Did it on my own last night. So I just wanted. How about that? Let's see here. I got a picture of it, but I did the whole thing. I know this isn't baseball related, but
I gotta chuck to Justin and Jerry here. You know.
Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but
that's sick,
right? So
just don't throw your remote at it, dude. When the Mets screw up, or I don't know who you're.
They're already eliminated, so I think I think
Frank's over him. He's on
his Dolphins in Notre Dame. Unfortunately, he was at that Notre Dame game where they had 10 guys on the field for 2 straight plays, but that's neither here nor there. Poor Frank, man. Poor Frank.
Keeping it interesting.
That's right. Well, that's a great place to end this episode of Mound Visit. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed everything in that episode. The interview that we had with Brad Penny, we hope you enjoyed that. And, some of the humor that we were able to bring to the show. I hope you guys like that. And I hope you stay tuned.
Join us.
That's right. And follow us, of course, on our social media accounts. And rate and review the show, please. It really helps us out. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to watch, you can do that on YouTube. You know all that stuff. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next week.